Basically, you'll have one that will change back and forth between rain and gray water. The second relay over there will actually be the one that powers this pump. If you don't have a full holding tank, the pump will run. As soon as the tank is full, and you can kind of see on this one here, it's got a little sensor float on top. Once that kicks, the pump will stop. Now when that kicks, it also activates this third relay that will let this sensor release any water back to your rain barrel if you still have gray water in your gray tank. So as long as this is empty, it's not going to cycle. But if you're taking a shower, unless you have full maximum water, it's not going to let any water back out. So you're not going to lose anything in your shower. If for any reason your tank is full, you're not taking a heavy shower, and it opens, it's also on a reduced pressure flow. That way you still got at least 50 pounds. So if you're in a regular house now, most regular houses, your toilet valves pop at 50 pounds. So you're already on 50, so you'll actually get about 15 more pounds when you're using your water than average. So it's a little better than a normal home on one side, and you'll have a moment where it's the same as a normal home. Currently, we have it on a 12-volt power supply system, and it's more than enough to handle the board here, basically. We could even tie in, like if you needed a regular element off of a water heater, we could put that in and power it kind of like you would on a solar setup if you wanted to step down to a 12-volt. So it's got plenty of room if you need it for power. So it's not going to short out that you're going to be lacking in power. Our eventual goal is to actually segregate it off into nice boxes and make it where it's not quite like this, but at the current frame, that's what we have to get it a size so we know what boxes we need. That way we can kind of make it prefab, screw it up on the wall of the house, and ready to go. We want to do a demonstration. We just got some power hooked up, so we can kind of give you a show on that. Before we do that, is there any questions we want to ask? Or yeah.
Within the house, where do you normally place this system?
Currently on most of them, it's on the tongue box. I know on Kenzie's over on the other side of the food truck, we're actually putting it in the back storage compartment. And on Heidi's fifth wheel, we actually put it in her storage compartment underneath her overhanging kitchen. So a lot of it really depends on the layout, but most of the time it will be in the front box. Generally it needs about 32 inches of space. Most of the boxes are at least 32. It's really nice on the ones where the windows are on the second story because I got enough room for this and the solar inverters and everything. So the total package looks prettier in the bigger box. But depending on the layout, I mean, we can put it in a fake wall and take about 12 inches off the back. It could go most anywhere based on your plan. So if we know ahead of time that that's what you want to do, we can kind of find what's going to work best. Any other questions? Yes.
So did you say that you could only take a 15-minute shower? Is that what I heard?
No. I was saying if you had one of those full body showers where you're like having multiple jets, you might get 15 minutes out of it.
Okay.
If you're using a gallon per minute shower head like most of them are now, you got 32 gallons and it's refilling 3 gallons a minute. So, you know, even if you had no water at all other than the holding tank, you'd at least get a 30-minute shower. And as it refills, you can probably push it to 45 or more.
Sweet.
That's good.
Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
As far as the outside tank, we noticed you have a gray one out there.
Yes.
How do you protect that for winter?
There's a couple ideas. I've heard people say we can put a box around it. You could bury it in the ground. If you're going to be in a permanent spot and you want it buried, I just need to know ahead of time because it's about $50 more for a heavier pump that will actually pull it out of the ground. Now, on the same way of looking at it, every time you use the water, it's going to pull from the bottom and have movement. You could leave it trickling in a sink and it'll pull from the bottom. At the same time, when your gray water hits, it cycles it and throws it back into the tank, so it's going to drop at the top. So if you left your hot water trickling, where you have a little bit of warm water going to the gray tank, it's going to blow warm water right back into the rain tank and kind of mix and keep the temperature. So we could do it either way. You could wrap it with insulation. There are several options. You can also do an internal tank, and we just have to do that in the design process. Either stand you up probably not a 500-gallon tank. You're probably looking at about 2.25 to 300-gallon tank in a wall space. And then that'd be a perfect spot for the rest of the wall to go ahead and put the system, and that way it's all inside. We can even do split level homes and have it between the wheel wells, have your door at the wheel wells, have all your plumbing fully inside, and then you can skirt the bottom with steel and spray foam insulation. Be fully like a cooler in a sense. It'd be fully insulated. It just depends. Yes, ma'am.
What's the maintenance?
Generally on the filters, it's really based on how much water you use. The filters are rated for 6 months of normal use.
So is that one person, 2 person, 3 person?
It's more gallons than person
Okay.
because one person might take a 5-minute shower, one might take an hour. So it really depends. Generally, the way it works, you're looking at about 2,000 to 3,000 gallons. And then where we have it in a double set, you're really not running that much at one time.
Right.
So you might almost go 6,000 gallons. So a low estimate is 3 to 4 months. A high estimate is 6 to 12.
Okay, and cost or maintenance?
I left the labels on here for the actual company we get them from. That they run about 16, 20, and 25. Generally, we order enough of them. We can get the whole set of 3, and of course, yes, you have 2 sets of 3 in
Right.
the shower, 3 in a tub-based system.
Right.
We can generally get them for around 45. So,
Okay.
if you want us to,
So you're looking at a couple $100 a year.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you can go to Lowe's or a hardware store, and one of the reverse osmosis filters under your sink, they're about 150 just for one, and they last around 6 months. So hopefully we're going to be competitive with that on a whole house. But all you got to do is just send me an email, and I can get you some filters. We'll have an entire selection of them and order them at enough price they give us.
So
a
is
good
it something
cost.
that I can replace myself, or would you
Oh yeah,
have to come out?
they just unscrew right in.
Oh, okay.
And thanks to Matt, wherever he ran away, there he is. If y'all go over and look at Roma's, I originally tried to have them kind of everywhere in a space because I was trying to fit them in a box.
Right.
And Matt made a good suggestion of building this rig, and we kind of worked it out after that, so they're all in one spot. Because it was getting to where we had a 4-foot board, and that really limits where you can put it. So condensing it into about a 32 by 32 square for distilled water is a nice feature having them like this. And then we'll have all the power in a separate box.
How would you know if you need to change them sooner than 6 months? I mean, does your water start tasting soapy or something? I mean, how would you know?
The joy of the 1 micron filter, as soon as it's no longer filtering, you're no longer getting water. It stops. You'll be wondering why it ain't coming. But I had already made a mistake and put them in backwards, so that instantly clogged it. That proves a good point. It stops dead when it's full. But you'll lose water. It won't have water go out anymore. Now, when you initially run water through them, of course, it's a granulated charcoal, so the water will have a little bit of a gray mist to it, and that will go away within a couple of cycles.
So this is the entire system, right? It doesn't get any bigger, any smaller.
At the moment, this is the whole system. I'm hoping to make it a little bit smaller and have it in a nice steel box to make it easy just to put on. It'd be a lot simpler for everyone. It'll be a box that can close, so it'll be a little more insulated that way. It has gone through many sizes in development.
I was just curious if those flow restrictors ever go bad, or you mentioned that if that.
That they can.
Yeah.
It's basically just a pressure reducer. If you're in a normal house now, I mean, they make big, heavy brass ones. They might last 20 minutes. They might last 20 years. It just depends on the situation and what goes through them. As long as you leave your sink strainer in and keep the big pieces out, in the gray tank, there's also a strainer that we put in before it goes out to the pump. As long as nothing big or sharp or granulated goes into it, then it shouldn't cut any of the diaphragms inside, so it should prolong it. I mean, normal city, you would have a little bit of sediment or rocks. It's more likely to tear.
So if I have my solar system, what size do I need to run this and everything else in the house?
Between the ultraviolets,
If you have a solar system, what size solar system are you gonna need in addition?
the ultraviolet system and the 12-volt power supply are probably about 7.5 amps. So it could be run off of a very small system if that's all you want to run. If you're doing the whole house, it really depends on your other appliances. One of the inverters, the actual inverter we have with us now is just a 30 amp 110, and that'll do, I think, 1/3 of the houses we have out here, if not 2/3. It would be very similar to the red fifth wheel where it's got the 4 panels on top. So, I mean, that would do a whole house.
Is that 5 kilowatts or 1 or 2?
I think theirs is 3. The one that we'll have for a 110 in the future will be a 3 kilowatt system. And then our bigger one that we're doing now is a 5 kilowatt 220. So it would work on any of the 220 houses that we currently do. That system, I hope to have all the pieces in and set up very shortly. It's been a little time getting some of that in, but.
How much is the water catchment system cost?
The catchment or the reclamation?
The whole thing.
This whole system with the tanks and everything, if you're in the community, we got it at $28.50. And I think if you're not in the community, who's got a flyer?
35.
Thank you.
35.
Yes, sir.
UV system, what's the maintenance on that?
I was tired of it, thank you. Generally, by what the engineer that sold them to us, it should be about a 15-year lifespan.
I've got one at my home, I'm replacing the bulb every year. So.
Gotcha. It varies from system to system. My dad has one in a hotel up in Boone, North Carolina, and I'm not sure if he's replaced the bulb, but it's been there since I was 11 at least. So, you know, the whole system will be there. The bulb in this one is not changeable. Right. It's built in.
Is that the ultraviolet you're saying has
Yes,
a life of
yes.
15 years?
Yes.
What's the other piece that's mechanical, the power supply?
The 12-volt power supply.
What's the lifespan on that?
Generally, it's basically like the one in your computer. So if you've had a computer for 10 years and you've used it, you should at least get anywhere from 7 to 10 years out of the power supply.
How easy is it to switch those out when they die?
On the power supply, it's just 5 screws plus the mounting screws, and they're $35 for a 500 watt.
And the ultraviolet?
The ultraviolet, if we order them, they're around 200, 220, if I remember correctly.
And they're easy to replace?
Whereas PEX, you just have to trim the PEX and glue the fittings back on. As Randy was saying yesterday, when Matt went to Maryland and delivered one of the houses, the little fitting right here had cracked somehow. Something like an air bubble in the fitting, and it just split in transit. So all he did was glue it right back on, and it was done and coming back home. So it's not very hard to do. If you don't do plumbing, an easy fix for an average plumber. It'll just wire right into the switch over there. Yes, sir.
Is there any benefit to having the big rain catchment tank versus like just refilling it yourself with a hose every couple weeks with a couple 100-gallon tank into it?
You know, it really depends on how much water you use. I know on Romulus we got the 500. That was one of the most cost-effective tanks, and like Randy was saying earlier, he wanted to go to the desert and have water. Now you can look over at Jen's. We haven't set up her tank yet, and she's got a 5-gallon bucket. Basically, if you're using water, if you have a 5-gallon bucket, kind of like what our display will be here in a minute, you'll have water going in and you'll have water coming back out. And as long as there's no seal where it gets pressurized, it just floats. If there's a seal, it will back force the system and it won't go.
For those of us that are still getting our head around using gray water, is there some way we can test it like once a month to make sure that we're not drinking stuff we don't want to be drinking?
The cheap way of doing it first would be to get a pack of the pH strips. You can get them at Walmart in the fish section. That's where you're going to see it the most. And that'll show you your pH. They at least carry it year round. I can tell you several other places to get it, but that's the one thing that we have year round. If it gets a little too alkaline, you can put a little bit of baking soda down the drain and it will cycle through to the tank, or you can dump it in the tank. pH is probably your main thing that you'll notice, because especially if you use soaps, a lot of soaps are more a base, or if you do vinegars, they're more acids, so it just depends on what you put down the drain. So I would say anything free and clear, anything more organic, that's going to be your better thing. Yes, ma'am.
You were saying about you can leave it running, like if you have the one in the tank. Does that decrease the life of the system if you leave a little bit?
If you leave it cycling for weather, it does filter water, so you will be using that. But normally water in a 500-gallon tank won't freeze overnight. So if it takes, let's say you leave it on a slow drip, you have about an inch of play in that float. If it takes all day dripping, it's going to cycle and pool that once. So I mean, it's not going to run it constant. But basically, like on our display here, there's a little float. When that raises up, it bursts. When it bursts, it'll go down below that float, so you'll have a little while before it comes back up.
So it only cuts on when it needs to fill back up.
Yes. So when you have gray, it initializes the sensor that it needs to get rid of, because we don't want you to have gray water holding around. And when you're holding tanks full, there's a sensor that's going to tell the pump, hey, I'm full, don't pump anymore. Now, the sensor in the gray tank also powers the return to the rain barrel. So if you still have gray water and your freshwater tank's full, at that point it will burst water back into your rain barrel, and that's when it will cycle the water into the tank. Now when it does that burst, it has to replenish the fresh tank. So if there's still gray, it's going to pull from the gray. If it bursts more than you had in the gray, it's going to pull back from the rain, so you'll still get a little bit of pull from that until it balances back out.
Is there a situation?
Sure. I'll try to do questions first. Yes.
More of a comment rather than a question.
All right.
So I'm hearing that in Texas, if I hear this correctly, that they are not allowing water catchment systems. So if you're going to do water catchment, you may want to find out whether it's legal or not.
I've heard that, and it's like everything else with code. It's going to be based on location. So, like you say, it's good to check before you do. I know we're fine here, and there's several other places we're looking where it works fine. So. Yes. On the, if you have a pump for your water system, there is a bypass valve to open up to let water come in, and then on the unit on the north side, there is a bypass to shut it off. So your well water won't be filtered like the rest of it. Now, if you want it to be filtered, turn off all the bypass, let your faucet run off of your well, fill your gray tank up, fill it off, turn it back on, and it'll filter that. I mean, you can put it in that way, but you can't leave it pressurized or it's messing with the pump. So that's not the one to pressure. Yes, sir.
I accidentally dumped a cup of paint thinner down the drain. What happened?
Well, it's probably going to make a mess. Because it's like bleach and stuff like that, that will probably eat the seals in the pump. So,
Not paint thinner, something that was undesirable, toxic.
well, you know, in the shop when Randy was on his video swimming in the tank, but he had poured a quart of, well, a half gallon of almond milk in there. And about a week and a half later, every time I would go to look in that tank, I had about fill it myself at the same time. And he was like, well, we need to do something with that. So we were testing the system, and the water coming through from that almond milk was jet black. It was absolutely horrible. So I left the system running for about 4 hours. When I came back, the water came out crystal clear, and the water in the tank was crystal clear. And he was like, well, now I don't have nothing to show. It's not black anymore. He told me to do it. I mean, yeah.
That's right.
Any other questions?
It's not about this, it's about the solar. Are you going to
Okay.
talk about that?
I probably will. We're going to have to.
It is. You said something about 110 and 220. So
Yes.
all your appliances have to be either 110 or 220 in order to run either one?
No. But basically, if you look at the wiring of the houses, one of the reasons we went with the modular plug that you see on these now with that yellow plug, we wire all the houses as a 220 house. And that plug determines if you're plugged into a 110 RV location or a 220. Now, if you have a 220 appliance and you're plugged into a 110, because you can get both cords. If you're plugged into a 110, you'll only have your lights. Your 220s won't work because there's not enough amperage. But if you go to a 220 location, you can plug in that bigger cord. So,
And run your appliances and
right,
everything.
exactly.
Okay.
So on the solar, we have one inverter that has one feed out, which is essentially 110. We could still wire in the off-grid part and the grid tie-in part, which is that yellow cord, where you could have 220 if you're somewhere with 220, or you can have just a 110 solar.
Okay.
But if you're going to have 220 appliances, the 220 solar will have two outs. That way you could fully supply it like we both do. And it will cost a little bit more than the 110 will, but you'll also get a better, heavier duty battery. And I have one buried back on the trailer back there that I can show here in a minute.
Heavy one?
Yes, yes.
The marine battery?
Well, it's blue in color. It's basically a giant cell phone battery. It's just a 48 volt one with a 10 kilowatt capacity, so it's pretty decent battery.
Okay.
But you can interchange and just you'll have limitations if you're on 110 to 220 stuff.
Okay.
But you won't have any 110 limitation on the 220 because it's still two sets of 110 run through the house.
Okay. All right.
Sometimes you have to shock a well with chlorine to treat any bacteria.
Like we were talking about earlier with the pH strips.
Okay.
As long as it's chlorine or something like that that's meant to go like in a spa or in a pool or in a water system, it won't hurt the seals. But
So you can still use chlorine if it's the right kind of chlorine.
right.
And you ever have to do that to make sure the tanks aren't having a bacteria bloom or something like
Yeah. Back to that pH testing, that will kind of give you an idea when you need to shock it.
that? Okay.
I think it's 99.99% of all the bacteria and stuff will be filtered out. So you'll just have a minuscule amount in a tank. And that's just like with your water systems in a regular home. They don't filter it perfectly either.
So you've never had, like in the catchment or something like that, where you have bacteria bloom and hot weather?
There is chances of that, even with a regular just 500 gallon tank and freshwater pump home. Even if you don't do the grade, you do have, like you say, a seasonal or a locational influence.
But there's a solution.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, long as it's not a caustic version that's going to eat the rubber seals, you're good. So pure bleach would eat seals.
No reason to laundry.
Do I have?
Use what we use in swimming pools.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff. Like, even like I said, baking soda would work depending on what the situation is. It's just something every once in a while you'll have to test, and you can really tell a difference when it happens. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, doesn't the ultraviolet take care of a lot of that?
Take care of what?
Bacteria that you might get, the ultraviolet.
Generally, if it's from the rain barrel, it would. But if something happens in the freshwater tank that's underneath, that would be different. But generally, you're going to be cycling enough that shouldn't happen. But nothing's going to happen. Yes,
You've thought of the saltwater systems that already filter and chlorinate those chemicals. They're at 400 parts per million. You're already using the ultraviolet light and just adding the sprinkler salt to the salt system on there would be nothing. Then you're eliminating, you're generating your own chlorine, keeping it at a certain level.
right. A lot of that depends on space and maintenance. So that's stuff that we are looking in, and this is an ever-growing project. So, as you say, that's something that might be on the next version.
Yeah. Well, they have the salt generators for the small above ground ones. They're only about
Right,
big.
right,
That's it. And it'll do 400 or 500 gallons.
right.
Cup of salt.
Yep, yep. There's a couple of saltless ones that screw in just like this that we've looked into. That way we could just add one more in line and screw that in, and it would do even the hardness and everything else as well. So, I mean, it's something we can add. It's not something we have gone through yet, but as you've seen with everything else, it's never, the word never doesn't exist. Yes.
I got one question. You know, I don't know what the system is called, but it takes out the minerals, the hard water minerals or whatever. Is that part of or to be
Normally
added?
that's like a softener where it will take out the minerals in the water. That's kind of what we were touching a little bit of too, because some of the salt systems will do that as well. A lot of it really depends on what environment you're in, how much minerals you're going
Well,
to
if
get.
you're getting well water,
Yeah, well water would be a something you would need a softener for. Now, at the same time, if you're getting well water, generally you're going to have a pump house. So that's something you can even do
from there.
Yeah, you can do a larger saltwater system and not have to maintain it as often.
Okay.
And that way it can all be enclosed with your well built. But at that point, you could bypass the system if you wanted it.
but to be able to have the
Right.
variety.
It's kind of like we were talking over here earlier. You'll have to turn one off, turn the other on, let it cycle, and flip it back. And that's all possible. It depends on you to go through that setup. Any other questions? Are we ready to do a test?
Yeah.
All right. Matt, you want to sneak over here and help with that?
Molino news.
This has been our test judge for a while now. So basically we have our rain barrel, and we ran this at the shop a little bit before we brought it out here, so there should be a little bit of water still in it, but for the most part it's going to pretty well empty this barrel to fill the holding tank. But we'll go ahead and simulate the gray water as we go. So feed your by the switch. essentially it's just pulling from the rainwater, and there's still a little bit of air in the system from where we unhooked it. There we go. And like I say, we just put these filters on so there'll be a little discoloration from the filters. But as we're seeing the rainwater go, if we just, let's say we're using the sink, we'll click our switch up here. And you hear the relay quick, and now it is pulling from this tank. We turned down the flow a little bit because we were knocking the barrels off in our
You're blocking view.
John, can you move?
John,
But
can you step back? Yeah, thank you.
just tell me to move, that's easier.
He did. He just didn't speak loud enough.
I thought you were going to get a piece of wood for this.
Thought about it.
And once it's clicked the switch on the fresh tank, as you can see, it goes right back to the rainwater. And my only problem at the moment, I have a feeling that I poured a little too much water, so we'll have to get it down in a second. Yeah, it's still pulling from the gray tank until that float goes down. I know it doesn't help for everyone in the far back, but you can kind of see the spiral as it's taking it in. Once it builds up pressure and it fills that tank, it kicks over here to the rain. Now before we flood, as I was saying, it is at least 3 gallons a minute. Now, as you can see, it's a little bit white at the moment. The ozone puts air and ozone into the water, so as this kind of sits, it'll go back to being clear. You can see at the bottom it's starting to clear up. It basically kind of aerates it, and that's normal.
Does that add ozone to your environment in the house?
Go ahead now.
Does that add ozone to the environment in the house? The air is there.
No, it's all sealed in the water.
Okay, so when you're using the water, the ozone, what's going to happen to that?
Now, as far as the honest answer to that, I'm not exactly sure how ozone does in the water, but this is the same as when you open a Coke and you have that little bit of ozone in the top of the Coke, the little white mist when you open it. That's the ozone from where they run it through at the bottom. So that same basic thing. Now we run out of water. Container to do this, it'd be a little bit better, but I see I have a little bit of buzz left over in this jar. Now, let's say you're in an area and there's a drought. As long as you're adding water, as it slowly loses water, it'll keep maintaining. But if for any reason you completely empty your rain barrel, the pump will run even though it's not getting water. So in that kind of situation, you want to turn the system off until either you can get some supplement water, but you don't want to burn your pumps out. But it will continuously run until it pressurizes.
What's the life cycle of the pumps?
When I looked at these were the biggest ones I could get for space, and it was rated for continuous use with either water or air. As far as how many years or whatnot, generally these have a 5-year warranty on them.
Hey John, how much are the pumps?
They're 100.
Did you get your test results back when you have sent the water in to be tested?
The bad thing is it depends on what your water is. So in the shop, we haven't actually gone to the water department and had them tested, especially with the stuff that we've thrown in there to see how bad we can make it. But as far as like this water here, I just went and got this one out of the creek when we got here, so it's going to have your normal little contaminants. But most of your rainwater and whatnot is going to be fairly clean other than environmental particulates. All the individual filter system parts are rated and used in real world situations for what we're doing. As far as getting a physical test from the water company, we haven't gone and done that yet. But as far as using like the test strips and everything's been completely in line on those. Any other questions?
Thank you.
If anyone wants to come up and pour water, drink water, anything, they're more than welcome. It's kind of like a fun little toy to play with at this point, but you want to go some water? You can see it's nice and clear.
Woo! Yeah! Good job! Did he sign a liability form? Alyssa! Good job, John. Thank you. Yeah.
If y'all have any other questions, feel free to ask. Be more than happy to answer anything I can.
Since Travis isn't here, when are you going to get that water tested?
Hey, Travis is here. Travis is here.
Where's Travis?
Let's see, where did he run away?
He is here.
I want to see Travis.
Travis is here.
He's gonna get off.
And he is, I know.
I thought he was slacking.
We do a little bit about solar. Like I said, at the moment we don't have our 220 inverters, which is what's in our current package. I have a 110 version of the same controller that I can show. It's actually on the trailer in the back here. And I do have our battery. As y'all can see, we got 4 of the panels over here. The panels are all 30 volt panels, 265 watt. Both of our systems generally run off of, if we do the 5K in both, they run off of a 10 panel setup. They're in sets of 2, so you have 5 strings. Our 3K that we'll be offering in the very near future will probably run off of 6 panels and 3 strings. I'll have a little more knowledge on that hopefully as the month progresses. I want to get that to where we can offer it. That one will also have a battery choice. You will still have a lithium battery option and a AMG or 8GM battery, if I say it right. little bit of a price difference there, being you're going to have the mini Mac Daddy battery and then the basic battery.
Do you recommend on the top of the house or on the ground?
When you're on the ground, you're going to have a less heat, but you're going to have heat from the home, heat from the sun. They're more efficient when they're not physically hot. And the ones we've been ordering are in the poly, so they can even work in shade, or when it's drizzly like this, you'll still get a charge.
So it's, you don't want it hot. You don't want it
Right, right. The hotter it gets, the less efficient.
And these are clean
Right.
Are they this big when you have them on the ground?
Yes. And what we were thinking about doing was doing an actual stand that you can sit on the ground and change the height. That way you can maximize it for winter or summer. And we'll have that probably on Facebook very soon. So we have sold houses that will be rolling out after we get our solar package next week. Generally, if you were to buy them in the area, these generally run around 300 a piece. We had gotten them for our system with shipping around 130. And if y'all look at the back of them, it's got our incredible solar written on the logo and everything. So they make them for us. We promote ourselves. Our inverters can be the same way. And I can show you our battery in the back, it's the same way. But we kind of get into, not really get into that business, but get into that option, and it'd be ours.
Hey John, real quick, Cheryl Jones on Facebook wants to know, how did the water taste?
It's good.
Yay, good. John, what?
Week out, so as little or as much up to the dry-in process that that you want us to do, that's what we can do. And you can save from, I think it's like $6,500 all the way up to over $10,000, depending on the size of home that you're wanting for for yourself and your family. And so if you can talk, enough volunteers and family, friends, whatever, say, hey, you want to use your vacation? Come help me build a home. That would be the thing to do. And we had a couple that had contacted us. They're getting married. They're getting married next week, isn't it? Or no?
End of December.
The end of November or the beginning of December.
Yeah.
And they're coming to do their workshop with their wedding party.
It's their honeymoon.
So they're spending their honeymoon with us.
And building a house for their honeymoon. Yeah.
So we're excited about that.
Yeah.
That they would want to do that. So I think we're going to try to do something a little extra special. That's a big thing. I mean, anybody that's been married here, that's a big thing, and especially your wedding party. Yes, you have to be in my wedding, and you have to help me build my house. So, anyway, that destination wedding to put in the record books there.
Yeah, exactly.
So we have, lots to choose from. I mean, with a workshop, you can build a 16-foot home. You can build a 32-foot home. You just have to bring a lot more people. I think the largest, we had a 30-foot. Was that the largest we did for a workshop?
Yeah.
And it was 4 firemen from North Carolina, I think, Charlotte area.
Well, from Florida.
From Florida.
It was Ty.
Oh, that's right. It was Ty. And they barely got it done. And they were worn out from what I've told. That was right before I came on, I believe.
Yeah.
But they heard that they nonstop, and they barely got it done. So that just proves that when, you've got to bring the people. And the thing is I know you've heard Randy talk about this online. You come and you get close to getting your house done, and sometimes we have to stop what we're doing and maybe help finish or whatever. That right there that kind of defeats the purpose of being able to to lower the price of your home, and you come in because we're already cutting back quite a bit, and we want you to be happy. We want your home to leave finished, but that's why you have to bring the people in to help you finish it. So, and if it just so happens that thing happens and you don't get it done, we would just put your material in your home that you didn't get completed, and you could just finish it at home. We don't want that to happen, So don't come with that mindset. Come to that you're going to get it done. things happen. People get sick. Sonny, she got
Sonny
sick and had to go
very
home.
sick.
We jumped in, and we had to jump in, and we helped her, get it done. And her house was delivered the day before yesterday.
Yes, Matt is here somewhere, and he just delivered it.
Wow, and Matt's amazing too. We couldn't operate without Matt.
Matt is fantastic.
As much as Randy says, I can rent a U-Haul and take it there. No, not anymore. Randy's phone's glued to his ear, and he's pulled every way all day long. As you can see in here, he makes a turn, he's talking to somebody. He makes a turn, he's talking to. That's the way it is in our shop.
It is, yeah.
So all the time, everybody, Randy, where's Randy? So we want to get to a point where Randy can actually take a break, and it's well deserved. So, with that being said, any of the questions about workshops or communities? I know people have been asking me about certain states and areas and stuff. So, yes.
Oh, and Brian, if you'll repeat the question.
Okay. How do you establish with a community in wherever it is? Basically, what our goal is, we're gonna, after we find a spot, like our next one's gonna be, I think, in Nashville. We've got 50 acres, about an hour southwest of Nashville in Wars Trace. And basically, what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a commercial, and we're gonna basically put it out there and say, okay, here's the next big thing. Here's your next area, and then if you're interested in that, you can contact us via email through the community at incredibletinyhomes.com. That comes directly to me, and then we'll put you in a database. And so once we'll contact you, say, okay, we've got you in there. Thank you for contacting us. And then when we get more, and once we get to a certain amount, then we know it's a go. It's ready to go. So this was, kind of the first one, and we just did it, But being that farther away from just 5 miles down the road, we can't logistically just do it that way. We have to go about it through, like I said, through market research. And is there people there that want to live there? Or are there people that want to move there and live there? So that's what's going to determine most of where they are. So as well as, zoning abilities and building code leniences. So that answer your question? Are we going to do the same kind of deposit thing as we did, Amanda? I don't remember.
Yeah, you mean for the community?
For the communities, we're going to keep it?
Yes, I'm pretty sure. Well, you know what? That's a good question. I'm not sure about the Nashville property, if Randy's going to do different ones for the different communities. But right now, for this one, it's $1,200.
Right.
Yeah, for the deposit.
We want to keep them, and I think for the most part, we could probably be able to keep them at the $1,200 deposit. If it's, like, say, in downtown LA, if we get in downtown LA, we're probably going to have to charge I figured it up, and if we can get a certain amount of property, a base, we can do $500 a month. And so if somebody could buy a $30,000 home or a $40,000 home and live in downtown LA for $500 a month.
Wow.
I mean, that would be life-changing for so many people in the LA area.
Yes, right.
So we have a lady who's contacted us. She's an attorney there, and I think she's going to be building with us sometime in the next year. And she's already been talking with them there about opening up restrictions on certain zoning, because everything's zoned industrial. You cannot live on the property. So maybe a variance can be done on that. With the thing is, we're trying to basically once that comes about, we would have to go before the city or the county and to get a variance approved for the change of the law for that specific. You don't really have to get it rezoned, probably, but but in LA, I look and there's you've got agriculture here, you've got industrial here, then you got residential, and you got another industrial. So it's so chopped up there. Maybe they will just rezone it. I don't really know yet. So hopefully, yes, go ahead. South Carolina. We've not really looked there yet. I have some friends in the building industry there. That could probably help me with that. He's in the Savannah area, and then also in South Carolina. So I would probably be able to talk to him about that. Yes?
I was talking to Randy last night, and a group of us in South
We had a couple of dogs that come from over the hill,
top.
So, if it's neighbors,
We're trying to
or
create a
what?
presence
I
there.
don't think
South
that's from here. Everybody says they're going for a leash. If it's
Like Fort Myers area, or?
Fort Myers, Naples,
Oh yeah.
which is a tough one, but somebody's already.
Oh, a little. So it's one of the little dogs. I bet it's like, let me have him announce it. Is a little white? Little white Boston dog that's running around. Okay, I'll tell him to announce it.
So I let
You're
us know
welcome.
if that's what you did. If you came in to come and speak, if we were to get things set up or whatever, to help with that. Once we got things moving along, once we got to that point.
Right. And really, I mean, bombard me with emails to the community. If you have an area that you're interested in, like I said, I'll save those and I can search in those areas. If you know of areas that do allow, the tiny homes, and email me with that information as well. And then I can contact those officials and make sure and get it all in writing. That's what I'll say. Okay, you're saying yes, but please send me an email with that information because I have to have it in writing before we really can go forward.
Hey, Brian.
But go ahead.
I'm sorry, real quick. Somebody's a white Dotson dog is loose over there, and it's a little dog. So I'm thinking
somebody has a white Dotson dog that's loose.
that's loose, and I'm sure it's not supposed to be. Is that your dog?
A red one.
No, a little white one. He said a little white Dotson dog. It's little. Maybe it's gotten out or gotten loose. Okay, we just wanted to make sure. I didn't know.
So what the lady in the front had said was she is already talked to Randy about Southwest Florida, which I love that area. It's beautiful down there. So if anybody's interested in that, send me an email, and as we look around, we'll definitely. If you can email me the people you've talked to there, that would be great, and I can contact them.
Okay, and anybody else that's from that area or wants to join our group and move it forward, we also have a Facebook page, Naples Tiny Home Community in Collier County, but we are trying to work with Fort Myers and Bowling Green and just Southwest Florida.
She said that's Naples Tiny Home Community of Collier County. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I know that we've had lots of people say that they have tiny homes in Tampa, and they're pretty lax there in Tampa. I have a friend that actually lives. A couple friends live in Tampa, but they don't live in tiny homes. But that would be that's also a nice area.
Things are happening in Cape Coral, but those are foundation homes. Then of course there's Rockledge that's doing a mix for Rockledge, Florida. But we want a community, and we want both. We want it inclusive.
Right. So you don't care if it's on foundation or on wheels.
No, we want both.
Right. Great.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions? Yes.
Are you ever going to go into homes that are not on wheels?
Oh, and repeat the question if you don't mind.
Are we going to go into homes that are not on wheels? We've not put them out of the question, but
the first one, the first Hobbit.
Right. It was actually built, and they built it on the ground and actually had to load it on a hauler to haul it. The thing was doing them like that is you basically have to do them one story because of the height restriction. Once we get the raised roof perfected, we might be able to do something like that to be able to incorporate a loft in it as well. But that's because the trailers or trucks that they're hauled on are about 3 feet off the ground, whereas ours are a lot lower. I mean, they're 18 to 20 inches with the drop axles. So that's like I said, it's not out of the question. And the only thing is building them in the warehouse is we can do them in a production style. So it's everybody's right there, all our tools are right there, all our materials right there. It's just it's a lot easier to do in a fast pace, and to save the money for us and for the customer. So.
Any other styles or building materials you're considering?
The sky's the limit.
And I'm sorry, bro.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. Any other building materials that we might be using is whatever you would like, to use. We can use like our base price comes with the certain materials that we show on our website, but anything else we can get you a price on, or if you have a line on it, we can look it up and put whatever siding you want, whatever flooring you want, whatever walls interior you want, roofing material, whatever. Yes.
So, what is the deposit cover again?
The deposit for the communities. The deposit for the community, basically what that does is that $1,200 or whatever that amount would be, gives you, once you give us that deposit, you have 6 months to build your home and get it in the community before that starts deducting from that $1,200. So say you pay us $1,200 today and you put your house in the community 6 months from now, your deposit starts being used to pay your lot rent for the other 6 months. So then, so basically, if you give us the deposit now, whenever up into the 6 months you put your house on the lot, you don't owe another $200 lot rent for a year, for 12 months.
Yeah. So your lot rent doesn't start for a year.
It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't start for a year.
Basically, yeah.
But if you were to put your house on the property, say next month, then your $200 would start then.
Right. Exactly. Right.
Right. Yeah, your deposit just starts being used. Yes, miss.
Have you ever put fire poles in a tiny home?
Oh, no. We have not put fire poles. I saw a fire pole in a tiny home. And in Decatur, they had a little fire station. And the guy that does it, I can't remember his name, but he's... John, yes, he has the tiny home show in Jacksonville. That is it next 2 weeks? Yeah. And they're just right, St. Augustine. But he had a little tiny. I think it's like is it 16 foot or something like that? Yeah, it's pretty small. Really neat. I mean, she really designed that well with the use of space. But it had a fire pole in it. And this is my daughter Mari, and she. As soon as I took her to the factory, and she was designing homes in her head and talking about them on the way home. And then for like 2 weeks, she was drawing them. So she's very excited about tiny homes. And when I take her to the warehouse, I can't get her to leave. So that's a good thing, I guess, that my daughter wants to spend time with me. So yes.
How far out are you scheduling the workshops? In other words, if I'm thinking maybe in the next 3 months.
Yeah, all the way till January next year, December, right, next year, right, Amanda?
Yeah, and we need a lead time. We would love to have a lead time of about, 90 days, but we do it, I mean, we never, sometimes
we pull
it's
off
2
miracles,
weeks.
exactly, 2-3 weeks.
All the time, so.
If yes.
We would like that, exactly, but it's a case-by-case basis, totally.
Well, for instance, my house is for sale, and I want to go when my house is sells.
That's right.
I don't know what's going to sell. So
yeah, we'll make
probably four to six weeks, and that's from the you send us a deposit, the time we order your trailer to the time it's done.
Because the trailer, we want to give him a couple of weeks lead time.
Right.
Sometimes he gets it done faster, but he's busy too. So
if we really have to have it, if we say, you know what, we really need this trailer next week,
he'll make it work.
He'll make it work.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yes, ma'am.
Where in North Carolina?
We really haven't looked in specifically. I had a friend that said, you know what, look it around in the Chapel Hill area. So that I've been looking there. There is one there as well, and that is a beautiful area. So another area I like is just outside of Winston-Salem. That's a really nice area as well. Oh, I love Old Salem. I've been there. I went there last year with my in-laws, and it was absolutely beautiful. No, we do not have one we're thinking of yet for North Carolina. Yes, Mari.
Okay, this time it's a real question.
It's a real question. Okay.
Do you guys have like themes to the tiny homes, like the way you decorate it or something?
That's a great question.
That is a great question.
Maury.
Do we have themes that we decorate our homes and build our homes? We do, and Randy actually has. And another one of his ideas in his head is he would actually like to have a themed community.
Yes.
And actually be able to, have those people say, okay, yes, I want a themed home here. And then basically actually move that community from here to there and all over the place. And then, actually maybe even have like a community of Airbnbs that is, moved from say, Texas to Colorado to, Virginia or, wherever. Yes.
Yeah, that was my next question.
Houston, I actually.
And what's the question? I'm sorry. What's the question?
Oh, I'm sorry. She was asking about Houston, Texas. I've talked to a couple landowners in Texas, one in Colorado City, and he also has property north of Dallas. As far as Houston goes, right after the hurricane hit down there, I contacted the mayor of Cleveland, Texas, which is just north of Houston. And basically, I was trying to say, okay, do you know any farmers, anybody has land that would let people use to put a tiny home on? And I actually registered us to be a FEMA contractor, so I didn't know if we could get money to build some homes for people, and then they could basically donate land for maybe a year so these people can get back on their feet. Because there's so many people in Florida and Texas and even California now with all the fires that have no insurance.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what do? They're living in a motel or living in, FEMA housing, and that's no way to live. You know, especially those FEMA trailers are just, thrown together metal boxes, and they're not made for long-term use. So if they could, provide, the money for us to build tiny homes, and then the people could find a place to put it, for free for maybe a year to get back on their feet, I mean, that would be amazing. So, but I actually never heard back from that mayor, so I was a little disappointed in that. What county? Waller County. Okay.
Montgomery County.
And that's around Houston?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
North towards Austin, Bryan, Texas, College Station, that area.
Okay. Yes.
What size property are you looking at? Like, if we.
I mean, this right here, just this right here is 5.7 acres. It looks a lot bigger.
Okay. It does.
It's, but I looked at, I thought it was 10, and I looked at the plat. And this from the bridge where you come across around to this creek is 5.7 acres.
Okay. So you're roughly looking for that size.
Anywhere 5 to 50 acres. The one in Texas was 610 acres, and I told him, I said, if you can just section me off a part of it, I said that will be fine. I mean, there was one that had three ponds on it and an 11-acre lake. And so when I first started talking to the guy, he was like, yeah, I'll lease it. And he leases it per head of cattle is what he does. And I said, well, I don't want to put cattle on it. I want to do it as like a rustic campground. And he goes, oh, well, I'll charge you per house you have on it. I was like, no. I said, that's not how we're going to do it. I said, so I'll get back with you. So I'm going to try to kind of figure out some kind of pay structure for that, because we can't afford to do that. Because he said, oh, I'll charge you $300 per lot. I was like, whoa. I said, lot or acre? He said, oh, about a 6/6 of an acre lot. I was like, no way. I said we only want to charge $200 a lot for the people. I was like, so I can't very well pay you $300.
Yeah. And two, Brian, I don't know if this would pertain to it or not, but I have myself in Morristown. I have 13.5 acres. And to do a rustic campground, I have to have at least 15 acres. So I'm not able to use my land to do any of that. So I don't know if that pertains to everywhere, if it's just per county, but I can't do one at my house. So.
Well, it's probably different everywhere. I mean,
yeah, I would say
every like for instance, Cobb County. I mean, the state laws say I guess they don't say we can't do this, but the way they interpret the laws, a lot of areas they interpret them like, no, you can't do this. So, like Knox County, they require it to be on a foundation and have a 35-inch wide staircase and have a 7-foot clearance and have a 120 square foot bedroom. I mean, that's not logical to offer for a tiny home. I mean, it's not. You got to have a little happy medium there, Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
You said this is a little less than 6 acres.
Yes.
How many lots is this?
33 lots that we already have registered. Yeah, all the way just around the circle, and it ends right before you get to the pond. Yes.
Your minimum size is 16. Would you consider it 12?
We would. Mm-hmm. I mean, we say 16. That's what's on our website. But we have a lady that's asking for a 14 by 50, and we have a 40 foot as the maximum on our website. But we're really up to whatever. Randy's like, sure, we'll give us your design and kind of what you want, and we'll put it on paper and give you a price, and we'll go from there.
And he said that he will make the door bigger, so to go wider. So
That's right. Our door is.
The door is 12, or what is it?
It's 14.
It's 14. He said he'll make the door bigger.
Yes, sir. You see, what's the maximum width to drive across state? It's 8'6" total. So we do our houses like they're 8 foot. So you've got 3 inches on either side of fenders sticking out usually. With 10 foot, you have to have a permit per state and then post a wide load thing. And I think you can still only travel in the daytime. But with anything larger than that, you have to have a lead and follow car, and then the permits are probably a little more. But as far as the 10 foot wide, I've been told they're around $100 per state. 8 foot, no problem. Yep. I think 48 feet.
What's the question?
What is the maximum length? I believe that what I hear is 48 feet is the longest without having a permit and a special license. Now, I'm pretty sure Matt has a CDL, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so Matt has a CDL. He has special insurance, that covers him and his cargo and everything, just like a long haul truck driver does. Yes, ma'am. If she wants to move it with just from county to county in the same state, that's not a problem with the 10 foot, as long as the best thing to do is just to call TDOT and just say, hey, this is where I'm moving, and this is where I'm traveling the road. Is there any issues? Because they have a bridge might not be wide enough, or there might be an overpass that you won't be able to get through. So and they'll know this. So it's just basically it's to help them and help you, because if you get stuck in it, you're going to hold up traffic. Yeah. So. Any other questions? All right. Well, I'll be here all weekend. So if you have any questions.
Do you know any jokes?
No, I don't know any jokes. And if they were, they probably wouldn't be that funny. So.
You don't want his jokes.
No.
No.
Yeah,
Heidi
that's
said
my
no.
wife. She's,
hey, Heidi.
I have those corny dad jokes. That's about it. And I got them from my dad.
Oh, there you go. Oh, well, thank you, Brian.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Yay! Let's give
Thanks,
a big
everyone.
round of applause for Brian. Yay! And Maury.
Hello. Mine now. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I don't know.
Hey, Maury, where do you want a tiny home?
I want a tiny home.
Are you gonna let Randy teach you?
No.
Yes, no.
I want a tiny home in Hawaii.
Good answer.
Okay.
Fire pole.
Yeah, I want it with a fire pole in it too. Yeah, a slide. Yeah. And okay, who wants to hear some jokes? Yeah. I'm gonna tell some jokes now. Okay, let me think of one first. What? Never mind. I know one. Okay.
Okay, we're going to sneak over here. Hang on just a second. We are going to sneak over here real quick before we're running out of battery and see what Randy is up to real quick. I'm leaving. She said, I don't care. I'm leaving. Hang on.
Up close and personal, huh?
I know. For sure. I got to go over here and find my umbrella and go over and see Randy. I know. We're going to go over here and see Randy real quick. And, we'll squeeze through here. Hey, did you ever find Sherry? I've never seen her again. I don't know
Should
where.
I call the shop and say, hey, come over?
Yeah, she's not over there. I don't know where she's at. I don't know. And I saw her earlier, and I don't know if she had to go get. I don't know where she's at. So I'll keep looking though. I'll keep looking.
Those are really, really cute.
Oh my God, I got them at Ross and TJ Maxx like 2 years ago. They're sparkly. Hey Tony.
I don't want to be on Facebook.
You're fine. Oh good, I need to pay her. Okay, good deal. Okay. All right, good. Yes. Okay, we're gonna burn. Hey.
I have a question. Like, is it possible when you tiny house on wheels and like in 2 years you decide they will make it permanent?
Yes.
Can you is there a way to convert it?
Oh yeah, you can take those off. Yeah, people do that all the time. Because you want to save your wheels. You don't want them to drive. They do that. Exactly. But if it's going to be somewhere, I'd take it off.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. Are you alive? Hello. Yes, I think they're going to have one more, but I'm not sure. I'm going to try and go in there and get ready and try to get him back over here. So he's been tied up over there. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Let me get over here and not get wet. Hey, you're live. I'm trying to
You should be. I'm drinking hot water because there's nothing else. It's freezing.
I
It's
know.
cold. Like my hands are like shriveled. Having a ball. I'm Keisha from Houston.
Oh, thank
Sharice
you.
from Baltimore.
Let me grab my umbrella real quick. I'm going to try and go get Randy real quick.
Good luck.
I know, exactly. Everybody's trying to get in. Thank you. Okay, here we go. I know I'm moving around and making everybody sick. Let me go over here and try to find Randy and see if we can see what his schedule is. Because, and my, I've just got to try. Mike, look at him. Look what happened to me. Let me get.
Better off just dealing with it.
Over. I'm not believing this. You wouldn't believe what I'm having to crawl through. Thank you so much. My God. Okay, we're going to get Randy here on the... Hey! Oh, hey, just a second. Let me get him real quick and then I'll be done. I got to get off the phone here. Randy, where have you been?
Oh my God.
Hey, Sue!
It's like playing poker in Vegas right here. Wheeling and dealing.
Wheeling and dealing.
Yes.
Everybody was missing you. I thought you'd just holler just real quick at Facebook. I'm getting ready to go off of it. To say hi. Randy's working.
Liquid sunshine.
Liquid rocks.
Randy rocks. Come on down. You missing.
I know. Come on, the rain. That's right.
You know what? Something is everybody's telling me they've already been to competitors and they're bringing everybody to tell me what everybody else has been saying.
Really?
Oh yeah. I got some inside scoop.
Oh my God. You can tell us later.
People have been talking about us, man.
Oh, really?
Well,
I want to
good.
know.
You know why? Because we got a bunch of family around here.
Yes. I mean, look at this day with everybody here and it is raining.
Pouring the rain.
Cold. It's wonderful.
Everybody's out playing around.
Yeah.
It's been wonderful.
It's been awesome.
And Sam's working?
100% success.
I think so too.
Yep.
Absolutely. Well, we'll check back in with you. I'll let you get back together and stuff. Sam's over there working, and I just want to check in. We will go over here. I have got to pay the. I was getting ready to just say.
I wanted to say thank you.
Oh my God, you're
for having
so
us
welcome.
out here.
Can you meet me over there and I can pay you over at the registration?
She gave me your money and she has your wreath.
Oh, she gave me? Oh, good. Did she pay you?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I've got to pay her then. How much was it? 70?
70.
Okay. Thank you
You're
so
welcome.
much.
No problem.
You're so sweet. Come out. Listen, we're going to have one in the spring.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm thinking it's around a Memorial Day. I'm not sure. He said something about that, but we'd love to have you again.
I'd love to be there.
Thanks
Thanks for having
coming.
me.
Oh, you're welcome.
And
Thank you.
find
What
us
was the
at
name of your place?
Amy's Wacky Wreaths on
Amy's
Facebook.
Wacky Wreaths. And where are you at? Are you in?
Just on Facebook.
Are you in Morristown?
I'm in White Pine.
You're in White Pine. Yeah, right near Exit 8.
Yep.
Good deal. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming. I bought 2 wreaths. Did you pay her? Who paid? Did you? I've got to pay you. Okay. I'm going to go give this back to Alyssa.
What are you doing, YouTube?
Yeah. Do it Facebook. Wave. Oh, hey. All right. I'm going to go take this to Alyssa. I'll be back. Hey, Eric. hey, let me here. Would you like to say something? This is Eric Bullard right here, and he has been here for. Your wife was here yesterday, right?
She was all day long.
She was here yesterday, and would you like to say something about? He does all of the. Hang on. He does insurance now.
That's right.
For the tiny homes.
Yep.
Tell us about that.
I have found a way to insure them as regular houses, and I think he's got it worked out so that we're going to be able to do them if you're traveling down the road. So, good information on both sides.
Yes, we've known Eric. Actually, we have our car insurance, truck insurance, and everything with him. And that was probably every bit of like 2 years ago. I think we were still in the backyard, maybe. I think we're still in the backyard at the house. And Eric, we just asked him one day about tiny houses, and it's come about, and they are able to do it. And we are glad he's here and talking with everyone. How is everybody? What's the questions they're asking? How are they? What's
Everybody
their
wants to
concern?
know if they can drop them down the road or not.
That's the concern.
And then they want to know if they can have it in Pittsburgh or wherever it is they live. So,
really? Great.
I'm just giving them a little bit of advice on how to talk to their agent so that when they get there, they know how to say the right words to get him to insure it for them. Exactly,
correct. Well, we really appreciate you being here. We know the weather's not the best, but I'm telling you, we got a great crowd and great group of people, and we think, like Randy said, it's a successful weekend. We're really happy.
Everybody's excited.
Great. And tomorrow's the giveaway, so at 3 p.m. So thank you so much for being here, Eric.
See you later.
We'll see you. Bye. Wasn't that great? Now I've got insurance, and everybody's asking questions. We've had vendors here. It's been fantastic. Look, all the people that's here. It is rainy, muddy, wet, cooler. Fire department's down there. There's all kinds of stuff going on. Tiny houses. People are still going through the tiny houses, touring them. My poor mower. Look at my Husqvarna. Oh, Lord. It's out in the rain, but it'll be all right. Hey, it's tough. I love Husqvarna. I'm going to take this over to Alyssa. We're going to get the phones charged back up, and we may be having one more speaking. I'm not sure exactly what or who, but I will get it on Facebook for you, whatever it is. Let's take a real quick peek at the build before I lose charge on the phone here. We're trying to keep all the phones charged up. Look at this cornhole. We've had a fire. All the guys, look, they've got the shake shingles up there on the corner. See on the corner right there? Oh, that looks beautiful, Chuck. Good job. That looks great. It is almost, they are working so hard. They're working in the rain. They have tarps. There's Joseph. Hey, Joseph. There, and look there, there's Joshua. And who's that right there? There's Bryce. Look at that. I love that on the corner, what they've done. That is beautiful. And it's under the tarps. And you know what? It's kind of cool that it's under the tarps because tomorrow we can reveal the whole thing and it'll kind of be a surprise of what it all looks like. So, kind of like taking the... Oh, there's Travis. Hey, Travis is here too. But we will get a look at it better later. I'm going to go charge up this phone. I want to keep you guys as updated as possible. For the ones that couldn't be here, everybody's been under that wonderful tent. I cannot remember where we got the tent from, but I promise I will let everybody know because that has really saved us. That's fantastic. The houses are all open, most of them. Some of the homeowners are they're in their houses, and I'm not sure if they're showing them or not. But we've got a lot of them that are open that you can come and see. The guys are working hard. Tom, we've not got to see much of the guys. They've all been under the tarps, but Tom's here. All the boys are here. Bobby, they've been working hard, so that's just fantastic. People are taking breaks too. Some of them's leaving, coming back, and they're just enjoying themselves. We've got a barbecue here, Big O's Barbecue, famous barbecue, delicious. We've got some Italian over there, and I can't remember his mama. Oh, I'll have to ask Brian. Travis said he's eating lunch, coming back to shut down the jam illegal. He's trying. Travis has got his inspector attire on, and he's going to talk to Randy about that water test that everybody is wanting to know about. So there's Kenzie's house right there. But come on down. We are open. We're not going anywhere. Look at all this. People are camping everywhere. We got everybody everywhere. And listen, we're giving that house away tomorrow. We're giving the house away that they are building right there tomorrow, an 8x20 tiny home giveaway at 3 p.m. on Sunday, the 29th. Come on over here. Register if you haven't. It is $20 admission to get in the door. Free registration for the tiny house giveaway. And somebody's going to win it. One out of every how many people is going to be there tomorrow. So you have to be present to win. That's just the law. But come on down. 3 p.m. we're giving this house away. You can register all the way up into 2 p.m. tomorrow. Online registration is already done. It was at midnight last night, so you can't do that. But come here and sign up. But somebody will win that house tomorrow, and we'll reveal that as well. I'm going to be coming back on. We're going to charge the phone back up, and we'll video more later. So I'll be back with you guys in just a little bit. Thank you. Bye.